we're going to move on to another discussion about one of my favorite topic, which is the bundle economy. And I feel that we've heard a lot about bundles from streamers, but not that often from telecom operators, and especially in the region. So I'm super excited to have Vincent and Luisa. So that's my cue to go. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Marion. Amazing event. Really good to be here with everyone that talk about streaming economy. For us, is very important. Introducing myself, Luisa. I'm Chief Commercial Officer at Bango. Vincent?
Vincent, Head of Entertainment for Telenet, one of the 3 Belgian telcos. Sorry for my voice. I had a very rough night, a standoff with a mosquito during an hour and a half, so apologies.
If you ever wonder who Bango is, I'm going to make a link to Netflix presentation, Ludovic and Carmen, talking about their partnerships with over 80 different operators in Europe. We are partnering, we are behind the scenes, actually, empowering companies like Telenet, but not only. We here in the room, we have also Dish. Here we have Proximus, we have KPN, we have Swisscom, and many other partners in which somehow we help them improving the user experience. And that's our mission, actually. Make sure that as we evolve on the subscription economy and as content consumption change, we are there to try to solve that, to make subscription the best way possible. And together with Vincent, we are empowering together the solution, and that's what we are going to talk about, the next gen technology that Telenet is bringing to the market. So if you want to bring a little bit of the pain points first that made you transition from the traditional offers that we had in the past, so the pay TV, that was all the operators always start on that, and how the need of partnering with different content providers drove you to this change on technology and solution.
Yeah, sure. For that, I need to give a bit of a history lesson, right? So 20 years ago, we got home, we switched on the television, and we would basically look 4 hours at the broadcasters. That's how we used content before. Today, it's a little bit different. We're basically competing on time. We have social media, YouTube, Netflix, Disney, HBO, sports. So there's a plethora of entertainment options. So obviously, cord cutting is a result because it's just moving to its fair share of time spent. Broadcasters are moving to apps. So everything is moving to apps. And we just put the consumer at the center and say, well, if they shift from linear to apps, and apps happen to be subscription-based, let's then at least enable that and give our customers access to these apps. We integrate the apps on our TV box. And to integrate all these apps, then there's many, many apps out there. We need to have economies of scale. And Telenet in Belgium, large. In the global scale, we're very, very tiny. So then you get into bespoke integrations with partners, and then you get deprioritized on a Belgian level, right? So that's why integration partners that bring scale, pre-integration is a key enabler for us. I mean, otherwise it would just not be feasible financially or operationally. So we have to work with a partner, and we chose you guys. Yeah.
And starting on that journey, what was the initial lessons learned when bringing subscriptions as part of your catalog, building that whole ecosystem and promoting that? What was the main pain points that you faced, how you tackled that, and talking about a little bit of the evolution of other offers as well?
So initially, it's not really a good product market fit, right? Because you're starting to sell apps to initially only the TV customers. We started off enabling app subscriptions only to TV subscriptions. We saw it as an upsell or a protection mechanism. But then when cord cutting starts to hit, we start realizing that that's a paradox, right? Well, we're upselling apps to the guys that are leaving TV, so maybe we should also sell apps to... So the first one was a product market fit. Who are we really selling to, and do they need the apps, and how do we position it in the box environment? I think that was one. Awareness. The TV provider now also enables app subscription, so that was an uphill battle. It's just awareness of your customer base. Those, I think, were the first two immediate challenges. Yeah.
Becoming omnichannel as well, right? So making sure they can access, control, not only on TV, right?
Yes. So what we do now is we decoupled our app subscriptions from TV to fix that paradox. So now anybody with mobile, TV, broadband can subscribe through the apps to us. The question you might ask, why do we do that, right? And the reason is we'd like to keep differentiating in entertainment in a commoditizing telco world. Otherwise, we just compete on price points on gigabytes per second, which is something we want to avoid. We also think if you step in the shoes of a consumer, it's really chaos out there, right? I mean, there's so many apps, so many subscriptions, so many tiers, tier changes, price increases, and we truly believe as a telco, we deserve a little bit of confidence from the consumer through the years-long relationship we have, and we build a subscription manager, and we say, well, now you can subscribe through all your apps through us. You can change tiers, you can pause, stop. So we really facilitate a customer journey in a very chaotic world. And hop on, hop off is just a customer attitude. And we say, well, you can unsubscribe. I know there's obviously retention flows that need to be taken into account, but we put the customer first, and we just appeal to an increasing changing customer behavior. So that's a little bit how we thought about it. Multi-channel, you say, I can even take it from a different angle. What the partners, and there's some in this room, like is that we do bring multi-channel support as well, because we do agent briefings. We train our advisors in the call centers, in the stores, to handle Netflix, Disney, HBO issues. And that's something that is really bespoke, especially because it's a clientele of 50 plus people that are not necessarily digital savvy to seek support. So it's really a win-win between the consumer, the partner, and the telco.
And it's very interesting to see how you were planning those offers, right? So if you wanna give a little bit of view to the audience of how those offers are built, and as you add discounts, and how you're planning to add more brands, and with which are the brands that you started with,
Yeah.
and how that looks like in terms of KPIs for the company.
Yeah, so when you look at the statistics, you obviously see that people don't take one subscription service. I think in the US we're now at 4 or 5. I mean,
Average 5. Yeah.
yeah, something. We're not there yet in Belgium, but we're creeping up to the 2 to 3. And then you say, well, one of the carrots to use our service is obviously a bundle discount, right? So we do give a bundle discount. If you take more than 2 services with us, we give you X% discount. People appreciate that. When you look at our external research, bundle discounts is the single biggest reason why somebody would choose our aggregation service. But here lies the paradox, because we run on reseller fees that need to pay a lot of, call center agents and integration, and yeah. So Netflix give me better rates. It's a negotiation. No, I'm kidding. But so we're obviously financially limited with the discount we can provide, because we have a cost structure to pay, of course, and a rev share. Yeah.
We saw that from the offers that you took, you achieved around 26% churn reduction from those who chose bundling with those services. How do you see that?
Yeah, classical, the more connections you have with a client, the more loyal they are. There's obviously a bit of self-selection in there, because the more loyal customers will take more products. But even if we statistically correct for that with control groups, we do see a very significant loyalty increase. So yeah, for us, it's. I mean, I always say except TV, the premium entertainment is a loss leader. I mean, we don't really make a lot of money with premium entertainment. It's really differentiation. And for me, the integration with Bango and the whole product we're trying to sell is an experience play, obviously with the carrot of bundle discount. But I really want to position this as come to us and we'll make your life easier in a chaotic subscription world. That is really the aggregation role that I have as a vision. And the smart TVs have that as well, of course.
And you started with, obviously, with the streaming services that has the biggest interest from the entire audience. As you see the success happening, are you planning launching other verticals? Why a question that? We partner with operators worldwide. We see everyone starting on this SVOD, in which drives the interest and the brand's relevance. And then as they succeed, it expands to specialty SVODs, or goes to specific verticals, or goes to learning, or then utilities, and etc. Do you have a plan or a midterm that you are going to that direction as well?
Just need to be careful because Proximus is here and cannot disclose too much.
It's not anymore.
No. Well, I mean, the obvious one is to bet on apps that have a play-out function on our set-top boxes. That's the logical thing to do because then it's instant use case. The logical next step, and we see Xbox, Game Pass, in the ultimate you have the cloud gaming that is now integrated in Samsung. That's a next, and our friends at Netflix will launch cloud gaming as well. So I think gaming is a logical next subscription service to enable on a large screen. But it doesn't stop there, right? Once we decouple the subscription economy from the screen, and you believe in what I said, we can create order in the chaos of subscription through a subscription proposition. You can think about music, you can think about publishing, you can think about everything. Now, what we need to be careful here is that obviously, whenever we integrate a service onto the telco bill, we need to be very careful that we don't create a perception that we are expensive. That's why when we do bundled economy, we revisited the way we do bill representment, because we want to say, this is your telco bill, this is all the third-party services you get through us. If they take a new service and the bill goes up, we say, well, the bill is higher because you took a new service. So there is a danger in this. But
it's a matter of awareness, right? They need to be always reminded they have the subscriptions and the value that you bring, right?
Yeah.
And when we talk about your core offers, so as it is started, so pay TV, the internet and mobile, do you see a change of how you package those offers if you see pay TV the way it is today changing, or reducing the amount of sales that you're going to have on that, but then you kind of replace for SVODs, or do you see that walking together?
Well, I recently had a bit of an aha moment, which is, I mean, the way telcos sell TV is actually a hard bundle, right? You sell a box and a platform and a service, and we've always positioned this as one product, but in fact it's two products. It's a hard bundle of a platform plus a linear subscription service. So the way I think about the future of pay TV is it's just going to be yet another service on a smart platform, right? And you can choose any of your services, and hey, if you want linear TV, you can subscribe that as well. This is, by the way, a future that broadcasters don't like, right? To be marginalized into yet another service. Although, ironically, they move the same direction. But yeah, that's the paradox of, well, that's another paradox we can talk about, but yeah.
There are a lot of we talk about a lot of the cord cutters, but we don't, the biggest challenge, I think, is the cord nevers, who never, and we talk about the young generation that basically they don't see a need of that because they never grew up with that or needing to watch that. So the way they consume that content is totally different today. as we see, we made a research recently, and by the way, if you guys want to take a look later on our banner, is outside. You can take a QR code and see the research. It's interesting to understand from the user perspective who they trust if they had to ever manage their subscriptions. And what would they do in terms of consume that content? First answer is they trust Telcos as their first one, because they already are used to taking a bill and reading what they have there. And most of them, they start choosing the subscription services to replace the traditional packages they have, and adding a couple of other subscriptions verticals. And this year, when we did the survey, we saw AI as the top 7 on the top of their mind as a subscription service. Are you planning or as well offering that? Are you going towards the AI subscriptions as well, or you doing your own research?
Yeah, we haven't yet, but I think Proximus just hard bundled some AI subscription in their connectivity bundle. I don't know if you're here, but yeah.
Competition.
Perplexity, yeah. No, but we inevitably will go there, right? It's also yet another subscription service. The thing is, yeah, the amount of services we can bundle is very long. The IT roadmaps are constrained, so we're only bound by CAPEX and man days. Yeah.
If you would, from the launch to the evolution that you're planning, obviously most of the content providers, they have add tiers, and then it's possible to move into tiers. From the launch that you had to where you are today, what were the hardest learnings, and have you ever come up with an idea of what's the ideal package or the ideal tier to offer to those end users, and how that they behave around that, depending how the subscription is offered?
Oof, that's a difficult one. So we're less into the marketing of specific tiers, more an enabler of the tiers. So there's two answers to this. So one, in our platforms, we offer all the tiers. We obviously will always recommend the tier, the classical marketing technique. We are building a smart layer on top of our current platform to do recommendations, especially in a world of account sharing. We will gradually recommend upgrading to the more premium. We actually launched a feature called Check and Smile. So customers can check in the self-care app if everything goes well, and we have, I think, around 600 automated checks. And one of the checks is, are you in the right content pack, right? So, for example, if you haven't used Streams for 6 months, we might say, hey, do you want to downgrade, or do you want to swap your subscription to another service? So I think we'll be building in more and more recommendation layers. Obviously, on the TV screen, we want to build, and we're doing that with metadata integration on the platform. If you watch a lot of Ryan Gosling movies, then we should be able to recommend Ryan Gosling movies across all the services. So we do see a role of cross-service content discovery and recommendation. In the end, content is what drives sales. So it's not that you recommend a tier, it's you recommend content, and people will then subscribe to the tier they think.
Choose the tier, and then as they move, you support that.
You sell a service based on content from our experience. Yeah.
And content, do you have a specific direction where you feel that your audience goes in terms of what type of content? Is it what's your strategy into sports or more of entertainment? Is sports something that you're investing a lot? If you want to cover a little bit about that, we know that that's a key, but it's also challenging as well when it comes about acquiring that.
Well, so we do have our own, we're actually, under my portfolio, it is the biggest sport product in Belgium, Play Sports, so we invest in rights. We have it integrated in the TV, also an app. We resell the app to our customers. Now that we have the app, we can also resell it to broadband-only customers. We are integrated with other sports apps on the TV, so we're not discriminating. We just say, look, if somebody prefers another service over ours, we should not prohibit this. So we are indeed entering sports. Sports, I mean, especially what is Belgians love football, cycling, and you can't watch that on a phone. So especially these sports appeal very much to 50+ generation, and they need to have that on the large screen. In fact, if you follow the news in Belgium, we have a bit of a hiccup in the sports because DAZN took the rights. It's only in the app. We don't have a deal yet, and the country is going mad because yeah.
Conscious of time, to finish, what would be your view on in terms of content consumption and user behavior for the next 3 to 5 years? General.
I think broadcasters will become apps. Those apps will no longer be free but subscription services, and then we'll move to a box where a telco will run a set-top box, which will be de facto a CTV without a screen, and will just run a plethora of subscription services and hopefully stay relevant in an aggregation and discovery role. Yeah.
Great. Good. I think we cover basically most of that. Thank you so much.
So we got time for one or two, quick questions, and someone in the audience may have a mic. No? Aha. Okay, so then you have to ask a question, right? Now you have to. Sorry. No, do you have one, or no, you don't want to? Okay, fair enough. That's okay. Anyone has a question for Louisa and Vincent? The Netflix guy, of course.
Well, I thought because we spoke about partnership, Vincent, what do you wish your partners would do more in life, in daily life, to help you? And don't insist on beyond economics, not the economics.
That's a good one. I think in an ideal world, we do much more content activation together. I mean, I like the KPN example as well because it's hands together content. In the end, you win when we win when you win. So I think I truly see a win-win. Out of the box offline campaigns is something that I think can work. I really loved what you guys did in the Ardennes with the motorcycle, and I mean that really resonated really well, I think, in the market. And the other one is just analytics, right? Content teach us what 50-plussers like, and then feed that information to us because we have content newsletters. So I think there's a win-win where because we don't know what our customers watch on your platform, right? But if you feed that back to us, I don't know if I'm breaking GDPR rules here, but if you feed that back to us, and then we do bespoke content stimulation in certain categories, then I think we can have a nice little flywheel.
Understood. Thanks.
You mentioned activations or partnership activations through mostly living room. Just out of interest, are you seeing that happening also on mobile and other devices, and what verticals drive that, and is that a focus at all for you guys?
So yeah, I mean, Belgium is going through a little bit of a circle. So Belgium was front runner in FMC, so the big fat bundle broadband TV mobile. A significant portion of telco subscribers are actually in FMC bundles. But now with cord cutting, we see that sales and TV is shrinking. So sales are now happening in broadband or broadband plus mobile. So naturally, we focus a lot on mobile more and more because they become an important second pillar. In our strategy of entertainment, we decoupled premium entertainment from TV ownership specifically for that reason, because we want to be relevant to mobile-only customers. In fact, our summer campaign, become broadband customer with Telenet, get 6 months free of Netflix and streams. Broadband, that was in the broadest sense. It was fixed broadband, it was mobile broadband, it was any type of broadband. So we do And if you're a mobile customer, you can subscribe through all the services through the Bango integration. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you
Thank
again.
you so much.